Alrighty, hello and welcome. This is BP Productions podcast where we share lives, share stories, and encourage others. I am your host, Bruce Pineda, and I am super excited to be bringing you season number 3 of episode 2 of BP Productions podcast. A few announcements here. This will only be found on youtube.com because we want to grow this channel genuinely and as big as the Lord wills. So we're going to roll with that. If you want to follow my day-to-day Instagram, my Instagram is bruce.pineda, bruce.pineda. And there you can just follow my day-to-day. Guys, I'm super excited because we are welcoming in some new viewers that we didn't have from our last episode. But welcome, and I hope you enjoy. Here we're like a family, and we like to share our life, share our stories, and again, encourage each other. So that's why we have our tagline the way it is. As you guys can see, the title of this video, we are going to be talking about how to engage with kids better. And who is this for, right? So for coaches, for teachers, for parents, and anytime anybody that you come in contact with a kid, with a child, because sometimes it can be super difficult to do that. I know it was for me when, and I'll just tell you where I'm coming from here. So I'm a coach from Skyhawk Sports Academy, and that's where we teach life skills through sports. But I've been with this company for about 3 years. And so when I first started, it was hard for me to engage with kids. It was kind of difficult for me because I really didn't know or know how to, become a good coach, become a better teacher to them. And so I just want to share some helpful tips. So if you learned something, that would be great. And I hope I can be a light in your day and a light in your life. So yeah, let's go ahead and roll with this, guys. Let's go straight to the point. So I want to start off with this Mr. Rogers quote. If you guys don't know, Fred Rogers, he is a GOAT. Look him up. You will find out. But one of the things he says, he was on the Oprah Winfrey show, and they asked him the question. They said, "What do you think is the biggest mistakes parents make in raising children?" And his answer was not to remember their own childhood. I think that's the best thing we can do, is to think about what it was like for us and know what our children are going through. I love that so much. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and dive into our podcast, right? So engaging better with kids. And so one of the first things that I've noticed, right, is that when you meet a new kid for the first time, is that there's always this tension. Why? Because obviously you're an adult, or you're older than the kid, right? And this kid doesn't know you, and you don't know them. So there's always going to be that tension, right? In the beginning. But one of the things that I can look back on and that really helped me is the first one, is to be friendly. You always want to be friendly to the kid. Now, you might say that's kind of obvious. Well, yeah, but there's different ways of going about that, right? And really, it's about breaking the ice, right? So one of the things that I do when I meet a new kid is I ask them about their day. I follow an interest of theirs, right? Say a kid's holding a football. Say they have really cool shoes on. Say they're drawing something, right? You can always engage with that and say, "Hey, that's a really cool drawing. Let's talk more about that," right? You can ask them, what are they drawing? Hey, you're holding a football. Hey, that's awesome. I really like football too. What's your favorite football team? Hey, those are some really cool shoes. We got matching shoes. Something to break the ice, to be friendly. You want to appear to them, not as this mean adult or anything like that, but you never know the way they're viewing you. So you just want to appear friendly. You want to be friendly to them, and you want to break that ice somehow, some way, with showing interest in them. Number 2, listen. Right? Listen to the kids. Kids have a lot to say. Again, they're all different ages, but one thing kids have in general is they always have a lot to say, whatever age. And so it's important for us to listen, and one of the things that I've always known is that you want to listen, not critique to listen. So, when they're talking to you, be an open ear, and let them share what's on their heart, what's on their mind. And that leads to our third thing, is to build trust, right? You want to show them that you want to help them know that you're building trust with them by remembering something maybe they talked to you about or that you guys talked about, right? You want to build that trust with them. And so how can we go about that? Like remembering a kid's name, right? Remembering what you guys talked about. That's one of the most important things is to remember, because that goes a long way. Kids will always remember that you remember their name. Kids will always remember that you guys remembered what you guys talked about, and that shows them that you care, and that shows them that they can trust you, because you are kind, and that they know that they care about that you care about them. Number 4, encourage them, right? So you also want to be a coach, but also be a friend, right? You also want to be an adult, but you got to remember how their mind works, okay? So, a lot of times is that these kids learn to trust you, and they look up to you, right? And sometimes they want to treat you as their friend, but you got to remember always you're an adult to them, and what it is that you have to encourage them in that way, and be a light in their life. Again, teach them what's right, teach them what's wrong, and just be that. And number 5, be a light. Sometimes kids don't have a positive light in their life, and you get the opportunity to be a light. And I love that, because there's a lot of kids that I come in contact with that I don't know what's going on at home, but sometimes you can get a kind of feel of they don't get a lot of positive attention, maybe at home. So when they see you, when they're around you, you get the opportunity to be a light in their life, and that's number 5, be a light. And I just want to tell a story here about one kid that I had met about 3 years ago, right? I met her, I was super friendly, and she was very quiet in the beginning, right? So we would do activities like different sports. In this case, we were doing baseball. And what she did is that when we got to that field where we were going to do the baseball, kids were encouraged to join in. Obviously, they weren't forced or anything like that. But if they didn't want to join in, they just sat against the wall and got to hang out right there. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up coming up to her. I talked with her, I listened to her, and I built that trust, and I encouraged her. And eventually, she bought into knowing that she could trust me, and we ended up doing like some one-on-one drills. And wow, she just like pretty much sprouted from there, because she started engaging with the other kids. She started participating in the activities, and it was just really cool to see, right? And so if all those steps that I just listed, if I never did any of that, I don't know where she might have been, right? Or it would have taken a lot longer for her to prosper. So I just love telling that story, and I love looking back on that, because God gave me the opportunity to be a light in her life, and that could happen. So I encourage you, right? So if you see that, if you see an opportunity, do these steps, guys. It's going to be very helpful for them and to them. With the older kids, there's some older kids like 5th, 6th graders, right? The one I was talking about before was a 3rd grader, but these older kids, again, they don't necessarily always have that positive light in their life, right? And they're going through emotions, they're going through different things, middle school vibes, there's a lot going on, right? You got to remember from where you were at when you were a kid, and so you kind of you got to look back and think, what are they thinking, right? What's going on through their mind and their heart. And with that, you listen to them, you encourage them, and again, you just be a light in their life. That's super important. And from there, that's how you engage better with kids, guys. It's pretty simple, right? So let's just go over them, right? Be friendly, listen to them, build trust, encourage them, and be a light in their life. And let's wrap up with Mr. Rogers again, because that was a fantastic quote. Remember, so what do you think is the biggest mistake parents make in raising their children? Not to remember their own childhood. I think that's the best thing we can do, is to think about what it is like for us, what it was like for us, and know what our children are going through. All right, guys, this has been BP Productions Podcast, episode 2, season 3, and pray you're encouraged. Be a light. I love you guys. We'll see you on episode number 3. Love you guys. Bye.